Happy Thursday, and thank you for joining Cindy's Got Questions. Not long ago, our school district hired an architecture firm. They used grant money from the state that went around to inspect every permanent building and portable classroom in the district. They rated everything from 0% to 100%. 0% is unsatisfactory, 30% is poor. Now, that's not my opinion. That's their verdict. Let's start with Good Beginnings classrooms. You know, where the real littles are. Well, they have single pane windows, and the heat is just bleeding right through the windows. There's also insufficient lighting there. That's rated at 0%, but it's not on the next levy list. Next is Clear Lake Elementary. Buildings A and B both have unsatisfactory windows. There's massive heat loss that's happening. It's also not on the upcoming levy list. Building A has a settling foundation. It's causing sloping floors. It's affecting the walls. The door frames are out of square. All not on the upcoming levy list. Evergreen Elementary in the original and the gym building. The windows are so bad that some of the windows have plexiglass. I kid you not. And it's all rated unsatisfactory. Not on the next levy list. And in the gym floor, tiles are broken. They're missing. They're stained. It's actually documented in the architecture firm's paperwork as a safety hazard. And it's not on the upcoming levy list. Now, I don't know. Maybe it's going to be on the portion that says there's going to be a remodeling at Evergreen. I'm not sure. Lyman Elementary windows were rated 30% poor. Deficient hardware and operating parts, warped molding and frames, and it's completely inoperable. In the covered play area, there's cracked, uneven concrete, officially rated by the architecture firm as unsafe for active play. And all of that is not on the levy list. Mary Purcell and Samish. One of the buildings in Samish, windows are failing at 0%, the same with all the windows at Mary Purcell. Heat's pouring out. Mary Purcell is scheduled for new windows in 2029. Samish is not. One thing I noticed, so the high school, Central Elementary, Mary Purcell Elementary, they're all getting new windows. And they're all located right there downtown for everyone to see. Samish, Lyman, Clear Lake, Evergreen, they're not. In this upcoming levy, we are being told that this is what we will be funding. A brand new competition track at the high school for $400,000. A drainage at the infield and new bathrooms at Janicki Fields, $700,000. New turf for the football field, nearly $1 million. 3 new tennis courts, another $500,000. All of that would probably pay for the windows that I had just talked about. You know, when my husband and I bought our home here in Sedro-Woolley, it had single pane windows and an avocado green carpet. I kid you not. So we had a budget and we had a choice to make. We could either freeze in the winter with our single pane windows and have a beautiful new floor for everyone else to see when they came over to ooh and ah and say, wow. Or we could get new windows that are going to keep us warm, keep energy costs down, and have an ugly carpet. We chose to have the windows done, and we still have the ugly carpet. But our school district, they lack that kind of basic discipline. They'd rather keep paying higher prices for energy than make the tough, responsible decisions. Because while our kids freeze in classrooms, We spend the money on athletics. Our football team and PE classes, they have pristine new turf. Our track team will have a wonderful new track. And there's going to be 3 beautiful new tennis courts at the high school that will be the envy of all of Skagit County high schools. And every time taxpayers see the lavish athletic projects while kindergartners are learning in outdated buildings, trust your roads, or does it? See, the taxpayer doesn't see the eroding buildings at Samish, at Lyman, at Clear Lake. They don't see any of it. You know, the median household income in Sedro-Woolley, less than $90,000 a year. But our administrators, 5 of them I believe, they make approximately $250,000 a year each. Then our principals, they make $200,000 a year each. The highest paid teacher in 2024 made over $162,000. Almost 70% of our teachers make more than $120,000. And I don't have a problem with that if our kids were actually learning, but they're not. You know, our district, their budget is 88% goes to salaries and benefits. They like to call it a people-oriented salary. Well, you know, I guess the people don't include the students. You know, you could put lipstick on a pig, call her honey and sweetheart, but guess what? She's still a pig. Last year, our 8th graders, who are now in high school, they 28% were at grade level in math. 39% were at grade level in reading. And in just a few years, those young people will be young adults out in our town looking for jobs, wanting to be a part of adult society, but they won't be able to do the math that's required for a better job. They won't be able to have the reading comprehension that they need to get ahead in this world. At the last board meeting, there was this mother. It just tugged at my heart. She spoke passionately about her child who's being bullied. How the child is being bullied in the hallways. Where are the teachers? Where are the adults in the room? Last summer, I met with a young man and the mom, and they said the same thing. The boy was just bullied continuously. And they complained. They complained to the teacher. They complained to the principal. They complained to the administrators. Nothing was done. So they left. We get paid, our school district, I should say, get paid approximately $20,000 a year for each student. So when the parents are just fed up because they feel like they're not being heard, when the problems are not being rectified, whether they be problems of bullying or the lack of education, and the parents find a better option, that's $20,000 that walks out the door with that student. Sedro-Woolley, it's time to wake up. Our kids deserve better. They deserve a better education, and we as taxpayers deserve to know where our money is going. We need to have an input on it, and we need to feel like we're being listened when we criticize them constructively, and we have concerns. Demand answers. Demand priorities. Priorities that make sense. Demand a school system that cares about the children. And don't get me wrong, I know there are teachers and paraeducators and counselors that really care for our kids. I know that. But I don't know how many of them do. How many of them is it just a job? We need to care enough to say something because no one else is going to say anything. Thank you for listening to me. I hope to see you at the school board meeting on Monday, the 24th. It's at 6 p.m. at the district office at 801 Trail Road in Sedro-Woolley. It starts at 6, but get there early for a seat and also sign up to speak. Spend this weekend asking your kids about their teachers, asking about if there's any bullying, asking them about the heat problem at school, how cold it is in the wintertime, how hot it is in the warmer days. Ask them and come and talk about it. Because the other taxpayers are listening. And you're going to encourage them to come and speak up. And when we speak up, that's when something is done. As my dad taught me, the squeaky wheel gets oiled first. Okay? Let's do this together. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.